Hi, I'm Anubhuti Sharaf from Session1, and today I'm here with a new chapter for you, which is your inner operating system. We are going to talk about personality development, but what is personality? Your personality is not a mood, not a phase, and not something you switch on and off. It is often invisible part of you which you see and try to understand about yourself. It runs through your life like a software inside a phone. Determine how it reacts when you tap on the screen. Your personality determines how you respond when life taps you, when the situations occur in front of you, when someone criticizes you, when you are ignored, when you are under pressure, when you are praised, and when things fall apart. These are certain difficult situations where you come in and your personality appears. Do you remember during the Women World Cup, the the batswomen was in a difficult situation because the stress she was not able to handle and that was coming on her face. Usually, these are certain things which we face whenever we are trying to indulge something which we are not familiar with. And that's where our personality comes in picture. So, what exactly is personality? Definitely, it is not about the mood or the role. So, what it is all about? Confidence? It is all about dressing up, probably. The role you carry forward to, obviously not completely, but obviously a part of it. The image you show off to the rest of the world, or something else. You can write it down and put all the words that are coming into your mind using the word personality. Now let's separate the mood, the role from this personality ecosystem. Whenever we do that, we try to understand what is personality without reaction and without a role assigned to it. Let us suppose you are looking at Sachin Tendulkar as a person. What do you understand about his personality? Is Sachin Tendulkar a really tall guy? Because mostly tall guys are reflected and considered very confident, but not everybody is. Sachin Tendulkar having his own personality. His confidence radiates from his face because there is something in the background which we were able to see. But what if we have similar kind of a person whom we don't know but also radiating confidence? We try to undermine all the other things but obviously see and feel that this person has something which we don't know about, right? And that's their personality speaking. So how do we become that way, that our presence makes a difference in the whole world, even though the other person knows or doesn't know us? That personality, that presence reflects us all together. So firstly, we'll understand personality. What is personality? It's a consistent pattern of thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Consistent pattern of thoughts. You reflect what you think, right? Whatever you are feeling in the moment, that is something that is reflected in your expressions, non-verbal reactions, and your behaviors. When you interact with someone, how do you interact? How do you respond? How do you not respond? That all consist of a pattern, and all these patterns together creates a personality across different time and context. So sometimes you might feel very confident when the circle is known to you and you are feeling safe around them because you think you are not being judged or you are not being watched. At the same time, you probably went into an area where you don't know anybody, but probably they are the people, they also share the same concern. It will take you some time to become them or become a part of them, right? So, in organizations or in social conversations, usually personality is something that shapes the interaction, the perception of us or the others, the decision making, whose personality is pretty dominant or whose personality is pretty balanced, and based on that, the decision making can also get influenced. as well as the collaboration. So if you think that you have to interact with many people all together, but you're not able to interact, firstly, you have to understand the people or the audience around you. When you find a common topic around, then you feel comfortable. When you feel comfortable, then only you can communicate. But how early and how soon you do that, or how much dominated you are in terms of your personality within your circle, depending on the context or the timing, that makes the whole difference. We'll practice that further, but firstly, we have to understand the whole concept of personality. Why does it matter? It gives you motivation. When you are able to speak your mind, obviously it gives you confidence. It gives you job satisfaction, whether it is a job of talking to people, whether it is your work where you are being judged on your performance, or communication where you are interacting with different kind of people, even though strangers or the new people, or leadership effectiveness where you are talking and taking a lead of certain thing which the rest of the people are able to follow you, and the teamwork as well as culture. So even if you are driving something, definitely you are driving the culture as well. And there is something where people respect and they believe in you. You get an influencing opportunity during that kind of communication. So if you consider that you have to be like that, or you have experienced something which where you have stuck in your thoughts and you are not able to get out of it, please do share and write it down in your notebook to reflect on it in the coming chapters, because there we are going to discuss a lot of things which are related to personality, and that's where we need your input for yourself so that you can understand what are your patterns, and then we can break them down to change them for your better confidence. So, most of the people believe that their problems come from situations, from bosses, from partners, from the money, or from luck. But the situations are only the stage where you are facing that. And hence, the personality is your actor. So, two people can do the same job, as I said, in the same team, facing the same deadline, and have completely different experiences. One can feel energized because of certain nature of theirs, another can feel suffocated if they are introverted. One can speak up, another will withdraw and stay silent as soon as the group increases and the safe space reduces for them based on whatever they consider in their mind. So one can push the conversation further, one can freeze because of the multiple opinions. That difference is not intelligence, neither effort. It is just a pattern inside them because they follow that pattern and they go to their default mode where they feel most safe. Personality is a consistent way you think, you feel, you behave across different situations. This is one of the example where I have been explaining you. It also shows up when you are calm or when you are stressed. So when you are calm, you feel that everything is fine. Whatever the people around are, they are not going to harm me, they are not going to judge me, and you feel very safe. And that's where you start chirping. You start talking a lot. Happens with a lot of people. But sometimes it also goes in another way. So if you are stressed, you will be also mumbling or saying something, talking to yourself. It is also possible. But either way, if you are well known to the situation, even it is stressful, you would prefer to stay silent to focus on yourself. And that is also one way of dealing with stress. And that is also called as a pattern, a part of our personality. So it shows up at work, at home, everywhere. At home, if somebody doesn't like you, or at home somebody wants to push you further, then you understand them that okay, fine, this is the way how they deal with me, and 1 hour after the other, you will realize that this is their way, and you became comfortable with that. Even though it is very very uncomfortable initially for you because you don't understand them, but gradually you make a pattern in your mind. Okay, fine, this is how I have to deal with that, and then you follow through. That is where your personality appears in that pattern, how you want to perceive it and how you want to deal with it. Similar thing happens at work as well. But whenever we are at a place which is unfamiliar to us, we don't know how to judge and to understand. Then, probably, if everything goes well, we try to demonstrate our perfect appearance, or if doesn't go well, then we go to our default. So now this is the important thing where we have to check our default and have to make a practice of those default systems and replicate them with the positive insights. It is possible and it ever happens depending on the experience and how intentional you are about it. We'll discuss about that further, but let's discuss a little bit more about personality. You can think about a last time you were feeling pressured, maybe for a deadline or difficult conversation, or something where you have been overlooked. What did you do? Did you become quiet? Did you become defensive? Did you become angry? Did you become anxious? Or did you overwork because you wanted to prove yourself? Or you just avoid and went home? That kind of reaction is not automatic. It is our choice which became default based on our inner operating system, which is in action at that moment. So basically, we don't change how you are because by default, there are certain positive and negative aspects of your personality, the way how you have been conditioned through your growing years. But this is a place where you would be able to identify your patterns, and then you can make a choice whether you have to go a little harder on the practice side, where you can just try doing something different and then push yourself to get better into it, or else you want to move with your default potential state where you are really good at. Probably you are very good at not speaking but listening, and that is very helpful for you. But there are certain places where you have to speak up, and that's where your personality needs a challenge, needs to speak up, needs to practice and be intentional about getting into it, which is obviously possible because we learn certain things when we are growing up, and we learn certain things when we work on certain things. So, if you are working on certain things where your execution is not sufficing the current potential skills or strengths you have, that is a place where we would work on your personality. So, now moving on to the final part of this session, before moving forward to the different models, I just want to say this loop is where people repeat the patterns if they are not very confident or if they are not focusing on their personalities. Because there are different relationships, different places where you have to be in different areas of life. And we think that the problem is outside because the person is not reacting that way, we are not able to. But the truth is, every time you are dealing with a person, you are dealing with a different person. Even though if you are talking to the same person next day, you cannot expect the same kind of reaction next day as well. So, what you have to do? You have to loop inside. You have to see that loop, how you expect and how you experience the situations, which usually stays same, and how you can deal if they are not going the same way, or probably asking for more of yourself within that context. So, your homework for today is find your strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat in one context of your life, which we will refer in further experiences or further models. It will help you to understand where you are good, where you want to improvise, and what are the opportunities you seek for, and what do you think are your fears or threats which would harm you if you try to take that risk. This SWOT analysis, SWOT, will help you to identify and become intentional about our next upcoming models and modules. And that would help you to align with these topics more, to improvise your personality and see those points where you have to focus and prioritize your changes and your well being. Thank you. Let's continue to the model ocean.